The Crayon That Changed Colors. Once upon a time, in a small bustling town surrounded by soft green hills and fields of wildflowers, there was a little art supply store called Rainbow Corner. Rainbow Corner was a favourite place for children. Its shelves were stacked with sketchbooks, paints, pencils, and most beloved of all, big boxes of crayons in every colour one could ever imagine. Every Saturday morning, the children of the town would hurry down the cobblestone streets, their laughter echoing as they ran to Rainbow Corner, eager to choose their favourite colours and draw new worlds. Inside Rainbow Corner, tucked neatly in a box marked Extra Special, there lived a crayon named Casey. Casey was not like any other crayon in the store, where the other crayons had names like Sunny Yellow, Brave Blue, or Glorious Green. Casey's wrapper simply read Casey. No colour beside the name, no description at all. Casey's wax was a soft, silvery shade, almost pearly, and when the sunlight poured through the window, Casey seemed to shimmer with every colour at once. But none of the children ever chose Casey. They would peer into the box, frown in confusion, and reach for the more familiar reds, blues, or purples. Casey watched as the other crayons were picked day after day, their tips worn down from colouring pictures of dragons, dinosaurs, castles, and candy. Sometimes, Casey felt a bit lonely sitting at the back of the box, wondering, what colour am I really? Why am I different? The other crayons were friendly, but even they didn't know quite what to make of Casey. One bright, breezy morning, a little girl named Mia wandered into Rainbow Corner with her grandmother. Mia's eyes sparkled with imagination, and she loved trying new things. As she browsed through the crayons, her gaze fell upon the Extra Special box. She noticed Casey, shining softly among all the other crayons. Curious, Mia picked Casey up and turned the crayon over in her hands. "Why doesn't this crayon have a colour?" she asked. The store owner, Mrs. Maple, smiled mysteriously. "That's a very special crayon, Mia. No one's ever picked it before. Maybe you'll be the one to find out what it can do." Mia grinned, excited by the idea of a mystery. She took Casey and a new sketchbook home, settled at her kitchen table, and opened the first page. She thought for a moment, then pressed Casey gently to the paper. She drew a circle, then a line, then a swirl. At first, nothing happened. But as Mia focused and wished with all her heart to see Casey's true colour, something magical began to occur. The line Mia had drawn started to shimmer, and right before her eyes, it changed from silver to a vivid, sparkling blue, the colour of the summer sky. Mia gasped in delight. She drew a flower next, and the petals transformed from the silvery colour to a radiant pink. The stem turned the freshest, leafiest green. Every time Mia drew something new, Casey changed colour to match Mia's imagination. Mia drew a bright red apple, and Casey's tip became the juiciest red. She drew a golden crown, and Casey turned to sparkling gold. She even drew a rainbow, and Casey shifted through all the colours, one after the other, like a dance of light. Mia giggled with delight, realising that Casey was a chameleon crayon, able to become any colour she wished. The news of Mia's magical crayon spread quickly among her friends. They came over, eager to see Casey in action. Each of Mia's friends took turns drawing. One wished for purple, another for orange, another for teal. And Casey transformed each time, always matching the colour in their minds. The children were amazed. They had never seen a crayon like this before. Casey wasn't just a colour, it was every colour. But soon, the children started to argue. "I want to draw with Casey." "No, it's my turn. I want to draw the biggest, brightest rainbow." The magic of Casey had made everyone excited, but it also made them a little selfish. Mia saw her friends quarrelling and felt sad. She remembered how lonely Casey had been, left alone in the Extra Special box. She gently picked Casey up and said, "Let's share, everyone. That's what makes Casey so special. Casey can be all our favourite colours." but we have to take turns and help each other." The children agreed, and together they created the most magnificent mural anyone had ever seen. They covered Mia's big backyard fence with a world of their own. Soaring dragons, sparkling rainbows, candy-colored castles, and flowers that glowed in every shade imaginable. The mural was so beautiful that neighbours stopped to admire it. Even Mrs. Maple, the store owner, came by to see it and smiled with pride. As the days went by, Casey was no longer lonely. The children took great care of their magical crayon, making sure to always share and encourage each other's creativity. Casey, in turn, never ran out of colour. In fact, the more Casey was used, the brighter and more dazzling the colours seemed to become. One afternoon, as the sun set and painted the town in warm golden light, Mia sat quietly with Casey and her friends. She whispered, "Thank you, Casey. You helped us see that it's not about having just one colour or being like everyone else. It's about sharing, imagining, and making something wonderful together." Casey glowed softly in Mia's hand, happy to be part of so many beautiful pictures and so many happy memories. And so, in the little town by the hills, the children learned that sometimes the most special things are those that change, adapt, and bring people together. And the crayon that changed colors became the most beloved crayon of all, not because it was just one color, but because it could be every color, for everyone. As the seasons passed, the mural in Mia's backyard became a kind of magical storybook for the town's children. New friends who moved to the neighborhood would add their own drawings too. There were winter scenes with sparkling snowflakes and cozy cabins, spring meadows blossoming with wildflowers, and summer nights filled with fireworks and stars. Each drawing was a memory, a dream, or a wish. Casey never faded or broke. The magic seemed to come from the children's imagination itself. When they drew together with kindness and excitement, Casey's colours shone brightest of all. Years later, Mia grew up and moved to a new city, but she always remembered her magical crayon and the friends she made. She kept Casey safe in a little box, along with the first drawing she ever made, the shimmering blue sky and the bright pink flower. Mia became an artist, and she told the story of Casey to children everywhere. She would say, "The best colours are the ones we share, and the best pictures are the ones we create together." And in every art supply store, there was always a box marked "Extra Special," waiting for someone curious and kind to discover their own magical crayon. Thus, Casey's story lived on, colouring the world with friendship, imagination, and the belief that everyone has a little bit of magic inside them, just waiting to be shared with the world.